if you look at Google, Apple, or Salesforce.com, it's more easier to use and user-friendly. So QlikView brings that to BI scope, and it calls it business discovery. It's leading in the Gartner report. It basically empowers the consumer to search, social network, app. It's an app-based model and mobility. These are the trends in the market now, and it covers most of it. It's a business user-driven BI. Generally, till now, BI has always been a IT-driven product. Generally, IT configures the databases, configures the reports, and the users extract it and modify it to their needs. But QlikView is more into IT, business user-driven. The business user can participate in developing the. Basically, QlikView changes the entire scope. It enables the business users to create their own analysis. The point I was in is this is the traditional BI, and QlikView changes the role. So it enhances the users. It enables business users to create analysis, and the IT role is basically data preparation and governance. So, and that gives a lot of flexibility for the business. It's like co-create, communicate, explore together. It's capable of being viewed on any mobile platform because it's a browser-based access. So you don't have any restrictions. It's just HTML. So this is the basic layout of the entire QlikView architecture, or maybe a QlikView deployment in an organization. Okay, I just want to confirm, am I clear or am I very fast?
For me, it's okay.
Okay, cool. So generally you have your databases, and QlikView practically now can connect to any database, any kind of a database, even for the big databases. So we have connectors, we can get data out of it. So you have your databases. From there you have, this is the typical QlikView environment. You have a QlikView server which extracts data and stores it in the memory, and like I hope everybody is aware, QlikView is an in-memory application. I mean, if you have done any research on it, it basically promotes itself as a first in-memory business intelligence solution. So whatever data is extracted is loaded to the RAM of that particular server. So you have a QlikView server component, so just like the Windows Server 2008. So you get a software called QlikView Server. You install it on a server. When the loads happen, the data is loaded to the memory of that particular server. So you have QlikView Publisher. This basically enables the scheduling, reloading, refreshing the data. Maybe in the trainings we can cover more on this. And the other part is the QlikView Developer. It's basically who develops data, graphs, charts. Again, there are two different ways of it. Then you have the QlikView Management Console. It's nothing but a browser-based control for the server and the publisher to control and manage. Again, there are a lot of, the best way to connect to databases is ODBC. For SAP, we have a separate connector. It is called an RFC connector, which enables QlikView to talk to SAP. And we have partnered with Informatica. So whenever your ETLs happen, Informatica can push data to QlikView. Once all this data is loaded into the QlikView server, the users access the access point applications through the server. So it's basically they connect to that server, and through the access point they can do it. QlikView has its own QlikView web server which manages the hosting of these applications. In case you want to override it and use your Windows ISS, you can also use that. So this forms the IT part, and this forms the developer and the designer part. And these are the business users. So there are defined roles, different roles. From what I understand from this group is basically everybody is doing database management and database development. So I'll just let you know where exactly the roles fit in. Yeah. Okay, to start with IT QlikView, as per me, I've divided into three things. One is the IT team, then the developer and the designer. The IT team is basically admin, controlling installation, connection, server, publisher, administration. Developer is basically how you are doing your SQL development now. It's like designing data models, creating, extracting data, shaping that into a proper star schema or a snowflake schema. Then you have a designer where you design those graphs, the front layer. Ideally, these two are done by one person, the developer and the designer. But for more defined roles, you can split it. So you can concentrate more on the data part. If you are an expert in the database analysis, like structuring the data, creating data models, basically data modeling, you can do the developer part at an extreme level and give the designer to the business users. When I say business users, people who are already using advanced analysis in Excel and all. So they would be able to learn this designer part and do it. My training covers most of it in all the three parts, like from the scratch, developer, designer, and also the IT. IT, I minimize it to around 50% of the entire IT part. Developer, I cover again like 60 to 70%. Designer, again 60 to 70%. Now the other 30 or 40% is the most advanced. Maybe if I start covering that now, it wouldn't add value to your training. Maybe for that we'll have to do a separate training. Yeah. To show you what I would be covering is this. So maybe you can look at it. For a developer, we'd start with the script editor, loading data into QlikView using files. Then what are the data sources that we can connect, then reload. This will be from the scratch. So it's basically how do you start building an application. That is what it's going to tell you. And Sajid, for you, maybe we'll have a separate discussion. So I think you would have covered all these things.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to understand what exactly you want to learn, and we'll have a different discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, this is what I was going to say. Yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
for others, I hope these all add value. I mean, does anybody else has worked with these things?
No. But I installed the QlikView by myself and I'm trying to explore.
Okay, cool. So I think this will be, this is from the scratch basically. So from the script, explaining what the script editor is to how do you load data. So it also explains I will also help you with few best practices. As I told, I will be covering around 60% of the entire thing. Again, I can't tell you that this is 100%. In my opinion, what 100 or like advanced levels, I would keep it for a later stages. So maybe this will enable you to build a application in QlikView from scratch and present it exceptionally. Now when you go to advanced levels of enterprise deployments, I'm sure as all your experiences speak, you would be even in a better position to do it yourself at advanced level. So you would not need more training to it, because you know advanced scripting, SQL, you know database concepts, you know how to do data modeling. So based on the experiences that I heard, my opinion is you would be able to get to the advanced levels very quickly. And the designer is basically the front end showing, right? Yeah, this is the developer part, the data modeling and all. Then there is a designer topic where you design the layouts on the front end. How do you design the graphs? How do you make the boxes? How do you put expressions, calculations of analysis? So you have the most powerful tool in QlikView. This is called as a set analysis, and this is the best part of QlikView. So this set analysis is not available in any other BI tool. Just to give you a brief, if you want to compare current month's data to a previous month data, in a typical traditional BI, you'll have to create cubes, extract data, then do all your scripting, then do analysis. This is just an expression based.
This is done on the fly.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this does not need more scripting. It just does the aggregation on the fly. So we'll cover this in the training. Then you have the multi-box. All these are how do you do layout. In administration bit, I'll give an overview of the QlikView management console. That's called QMC. That basically manages your publisher, your server. How do you deploy the applications? How do you load it to the server? And managing folders, creating tasks, scheduling tasks. and adding users to the documents, basically access rights and all. That would be it. And the most, even more advanced would be basically doing clustering and all. So that wouldn't be covered in this training.
Okay.
Yeah. So to begin with, I have just to give a demo as to how the training, or just to show how I could conduct training, I have find out a few topics for demo curriculum. Just let me know if you want to know anything else apart from these in the demo.
Yeah, basically, you will be talking about architecture, right?
Yeah, not in the demo.
Not in the demo, fine. And also the product components.
Yeah, like product components in the sense.
Product components, I have noticed that in your one of the slide you have given application server is in the presentation layer. Is it on the presentation layer or is it in the middle? If you go back to your presentation, I can.
This one, right? This is the slide you're talking about. Okay.
Because each tier, what are the applications? It's now, for example, QlikView server. Is it a separate product? QlikView publisher, is it a separate product? And where exactly it sits? Is it which operating system? Things like that.
My QlikView server is, yes, it's a separate product. QlikView publisher is a separate product. But to run QlikView, all you need is the QlikView server. So this is where you load all your data, application, and host the basically files. QlikView publisher enables you to scale. It is Windows-based platform.
Windows platform.
It's a Windows platform. So you can't install it on any other platform. So it's basically only Windows platform.
Windows Server 2008 or which version of Windows?
I think 2003 also helps. So any version basically after Windows 2003.
And what is the application server is IIS?
As I told, we have QlikView web server. It's an inbuilt web server which manages the application server. Else you can combine it with Windows ISS.
No, why it is in the client? Why it is in the presentation? Presentation means it's a client layer.
Yeah, this is basically how do you deploy, host the websites. So it's in the presentation layer because these are the servers. I mean, this is basically what manages the applications at the front end. That's why they say, okay, this is the presentation layer. The application is QlikView server is where you load all host your website. You know the concept of hosting website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the website is hosted on a server. So you connect to the server. How do you connect to the server? Through a IIS.
Correct.
Right?
So my question is, if I want to, when I install QlikView on my laptop, I did not install the QlikView web server, is it? Or Windows IIS is not there?
Right.
No.
As I said, yeah, this is the server. What you installed is a client. It's a client, developer client, QlikView. So that is what you install on your laptops, and that is a free edition. The server is not a free edition. The QlikView, whatever free edition you have got, you install it on your laptop. You can use the, it has basically no restrictions, but the only restriction is you will not be able to access any other files apart from the files that you have developed. So you can do any development on your laptop, but you can't open or access any other files developed by any other person.
Okay, so as per this diagram, I thought that data access is one layer and the application another layer, presentation is another layer. Actually, is it?
No, it's basically segregating what kind of operations happen at each level. So it's not like okay, you have data access separate, you have application separate, you have presentation separate.
Yeah, I know. What I'm trying to say is that in the traditional BI, you have database on one layer and then semantic layer where business modeling takes place, and then the presentation. So in the presentation, you make use of various tools to connect with the semantic layer.
Yeah, that's basically the traditional BI. So QlikView changes everything. Basically you have the client on your laptop that you have installed, the free version. That version is used to develop your applications, connect to the databases. The server just hosts that application that you have developed.
Okay.
Over here, you are the QlikView developer. You have the client. You connect to the databases. You create an application. When I say application, it's the document you create using the data and using QlikView, and you load it to the QlikView server's RAM using the publisher, and through the QlikView access point, the users can access it.
Actually, the publisher part is optional, and that is only required for very large deployment and very scalability and all. Publisher is not required.
Exactly. Publisher is not required. The publisher is advised because if you want advanced scheduling options, like if you want to schedule every reloads based on triggers, reloads based on anything, you want to publish the reports through emails, so a publisher component is used. So it has defined roles. What do you need? All you need to start.
Incremental loading also, right?
Yes. Yeah, it allows.
Yeah, I'll be covering the basics of incremental loading.
Right.
So incremental loading is another topic in itself, is a big one. So I'll start with the normal, the concept of incremental loading. Maybe you can take it further from there, like practicing it.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi. Quick question. Can you tell me the difference between QV doubles and QVD files? What are those like extensions?
Okay. Let me see if I have something nice thing for you. Okay, basically you have the client. So I think most of you have downloaded this QlikView client. Yes. This is the QlikView client on your laptops. So I have a basically local license key. You open a new document, you create this. Over here is where you connect to the database, extract data, modify data, create a data model. You can also create a layout, a dashboard layout. Let me see if I have some testers. So this is basically a dashboard. Over here you create all these analysis, all these analytics. You also have the data in this application loaded. And this is the part where you do the scripting. You write the scripts to connect to the database. Over here we are extracting data from a file. Basically we are not connected to any database. It's all okay, we'll come to this. So you extract data from database, writing scripts like these custom scripts. You create a data model which will form like this based on the tables, the fact and the star schema that I was talking about. From here, once the data is in the memory, you do all your analytics, you design the graphs and all. Now this entire document is called as a QlikView application, is what the terminology used. And this has a format QVW. It's a QlikView file. And you save it. This is what typically will go into the server, and this is what the users would access through the browser. Now, every time if you want to refresh this, you want to load the new data, you will have to reload this entire application. What it happens is it goes to the database, connects, extracts the data, and brings in the new data. Now if you do it every time to the transactional database, and the database is huge, the time taken to reload becomes very large. What QlikView did was they have created their own optimized format of storing data, which is called QlikView data format. It converts the normal database fields and the tables into columnar data and stores it into its own format called QVD. So if you see in this script, we are extracting data from a file called QVD. this file is not a read file. You can't basically open this file with any other application or open it normally.